Welcome to week 2 of the course. Last week I gave you a list of articles all dealing with food production, how and what we eat. And I asked you to pick 2 of those articles, write summaries for them, and post them on a discussion post. Now, that gave you 2 to start with. And then hopefully you also got to look at some of the other summaries that were out there and what other people had put up. So you have an idea of a lot of the different articles that are out there. For this week, I want you to pick one of them and respond to it. Now, the thing about this article that you need to be kind of thinking about before you settle on one is that this article will be used repetitively over the next several weeks and be included in our final paper. This article also will be the spark or kind of the starting point for the topic that you want to persuade us on and that you will write about in your final paper of the semester. So you want to kind of make sure that you're picking wisely. All the articles are thought-provoking. They're meant to get you thinking about things and kind of get you kind of working through some of those issues and some of those the challenges, the topics that they deal with. And we want you to really start thinking about those. This week, you're going to land on one of them, one that you read last week, or maybe a new one that you read, someone else's summary. It's like, hey, yeah, I kind of want to read that one now. And you are going to read and respond to that. It's a reader's response. Now, I think you remember before we went on break, we did one of those with the article about Google and about how Google doesn't necessarily focus on your GPA as much. And this response is very similar to that. So what you're going to start off with is, in the first paragraph of your response, is you're going to start off with just an attention getter and kind of get us thinking about the topic. You're going to introduce the article and the title, the author of it, and you're going to kind of give us that first take. So if you think, for instance, back to the Google article, you might want to just say, you would write something along the lines of, what is a college degree worth? According to Google, it may not be the most important thing that you have that makes you the most hireable. In Thomas Friedman's article, How to Get a Job at Google, he talks about how that Google uses a lot of different metrics to judge the people that they want to hire. I have to say that this may change the way we think of education. So you think about that as your first paragraph, right? In the body of this response, you're going to summarize the article. You're going to talk about the article, what the main points were. You're going to bring in some of the, main ideas that they addressed. And in this, you're going to use at least 3 different specific quotes or paraphrases from the article. So when you bring in, like he talks about the things that they use to hire people, you would pull in some of those examples from the text. The body of this summary, the body of the summary here in the middle is going to be probably 2 paragraphs for most of you. The final paragraph, the conclusion of this, is kind of your emotional response. This is the gut level reaction you had to this. So after you got done reading, what was it that you took away? How did you react? What did it make you feel like? And then you're going to use specific examples from the text to prove exactly why you felt that way. For instance, again, thinking about that Google article, after I got done reading, I have to say, I can't believe that I'm investing all this time in my college education. Why would a company not want to hire somebody that's gone through some kind of formal training? In the article, and then pull out a specific quote to back you up, they talked about how they didn't want to use just person's GPA in college education. So it really makes me think, why am I going through all this trouble? Is this going to be a benefit to me in the end if other companies are not going to look at the GPAs quite as much? So the basic standard or the basic format of this reader's response, just like what we did before, this is just a little bit longer. First paragraph, introduction, get our attention. Make sure that you have to use the title and the author of the work. And the thesis kind of gives us kind of our first take or the first sense of where you're coming from. The body, probably 2 paragraphs for most of you, maybe 3, will be a summary of the article, and it is going to pull in at least 3 specific quotes from the article. The conclusion then is kind of your gut level reaction. How did you respond? What did you take away? What did it make you feel like? Make sure that you're using at least one, if not more, specifics from the text to prove where you're coming from. Now, again, as you are working on this, remember this is an article that you're going to be coming back to over and over. So you want to make sure that you really are taking some time to say, yep, this is the article I want to deal with. This is the topic I want to keep coming back to, because this will be the one that we turn into your persuasive paper.